candidates running for president in the next week's important presidential election. You will also have an opportunity to vote in your classes on who you think should be president of the United States. I will be asking the candidates of each party to answer important questions. They will have 2 minutes to respond to my first question. We will then take questions from the audience for each candidate. I will then ask a second question where candidates will have 1 minute to respond. After the candidates have answered my questions in the allotted time, they will take questions from the audience. We ask that you remain respectful of all the speakers participating in today's event. Candidates, please introduce yourselves.
I am Donald J. Trump, nominee for the Republican Party.
I'm Hillary Clinton from the Democratic Party.
Joe Stein from your Green Party.
Hi, I'm Gary Johnson, I'm the Libertarian candidate.
Our audience today is mostly made of young Americans. Many here today are concerned about their futures. Why should young Americans trust you with their future concerns and vote for you?
Before answering that question, I'd like to start off by complimenting Ms. Clinton because I feel as though I've been a little ruthless in my campaign. So, Ms. Clinton, I would just like to say that I think you look really nice in the orange jumpsuit that the FBI is going to give you when they finish your investigation. I think it's really going to complement your eyes. So, education is one of the biggest issues in this country, and today our education system is failing. We spend the most money on education out of developed nations, yet our students rank towards the bottom. Can anybody explain that? Ms. Clinton, maybe your policies? The Trump administration is going to promote school choice, which allows lower-income American citizens to escape from failing schools and to take their future into their own hands. Ms. Clinton's going to stand up and say that she wants a good education for every American citizen, yet she strongly opposes school choice because the American Federation of Teachers donated $2 million to her campaign. So she's putting money over your right. Sounds like a corrupt politician to me. Does anybody here have any thoughts on Ms. Clinton that they would like to share?
Well, if you're talking about crooked Hillary, I emailed her telling her how corrupt she is, but I guess she deleted it. Maybe the FBI will find it.
Does anyone have anything to say about a candidate that they think they're going to vote for in this election?
I would like to say one thing about Donald Trump. He's a wonderful person. All the Trumps, they're wonderful people. He's going to make America great again.
You heard it right there, folks. I, Donald J. Trump, am going to make America great again for everyone. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions for Mr. Trump? When asking a question, be sure to stand and introduce yourself before you ask your question.
Hello, I'm Yasser.
Only speak if you've been given the microphone. Thank you.
I asked you before, what do you think about immigrants from the Middle East? And you said that America is not prepared for anyone from Syria, Iraq, etc. So why are Americans in Iraq right now?
I never supported the war in Iraq, and you may be told differently, but even if I did, I was a citizen who had no access to intel, unlike Ms. Clinton, who voted for the war in Iraq. So these Americans are in Iraq because of Ms. Clinton. So those lives are at risk because of her. So you can ask her about that, not me. Thank you.
Is there another question for Mr. Trump? I'd like to remind everyone you can only ask one question, no follow-ups.
What do you think about the investigations being reopened?
Anyone in this room under FBI investigation, please raise your hand. I guess she doesn't know she's under FBI investigation. Okay. Are you under FBI investigation? Raise your hand. Yes? No? Okay. So if any of you were under FBI investigation right now and applied for a job at Foot Locker, Dunkin' Donuts, ShopRite, anywhere, you would not get the job. So why should we elect somebody under federal investigation? I think it's ridiculous, and I love the fact that the FBI reopened the investigation because clearly she did something criminal.
what make this country great. They always bring new and bright ideas to the table, and that is exactly what we need. We need young Americans who will keep America moving and on its feet. And with me as president, I will make that possible. Part of letting young Americans help our country is by giving them the education that they deserve. I will make sure that every child from every zip code gets a world-class education, starting with high-quality preschool. I will make standardized tests fairer, and there will be fewer of them for the elementary and secondary school levels. College will also be debt-free. After 20 years of faithfully paying your debt, that's it, you're done. Another topic I'd like to touch upon is the minimum wage. Right now, the federal minimum wage is at $7.25 an hour. That might be okay for the teenagers who just want to make a couple extra dollars, but for parents who are trying to provide for their families, it is simply not enough. I propose raising the minimum wage to $12 an hour, which should be enough for families to put food on the table, for you to buy that new shirt or those new pair of shoes. I would also like to improve healthcare. Right now, the prices of everything are way too high. Co-pays are too high, your deductibles are too high, and even out-of-pocket costs are too high. If you are in dire need of prescription drugs and you don't have the pocket money for it, then you don't get it. I am going to decrease those prices and it will benefit all of you. Stand with me, Hillary Clinton, and let's be stronger together.
Our first question for Ms. Clinton comes from Nick Verducci.
AOI. Senator Clinton, why do you feel you will bring the United States economy to a higher standard rather than Mr. Trump, who is a businessman and clearly knows what he's doing because he has been so successful with doing so among his businesses?
I would just like to point out that he is not a successful businessman because one of his casinos, the Trump Taj Mahal, was in $3 billion of debt after 1 year of operation, so I don't believe that he would be better in office than I would. Correct.
Is there another question for Ms. Clinton?
How do you plan to mend our relations with foreign nations like Russia and China?
I plan on negotiating with them about ways to improve our relationship because I understand they're not the best right now, but I plan on continuously talking to them and making sure that we're on the same page about everything. Thank you very much.
Hello, amazing students of Par Hills. My name is Jill Stein, and I am the perfect candidate to protect your future. I'm a mother and a medical doctor. I know that there is no future for my kids unless there's a future for all kids. I am the one candidate calling for canceling student debt and bailing out a generation of young people like we bailed out the bankers of Wall Street. I am calling to legalize marijuana because I cannot stand another day when innocent Americans like yourself are in jail for the stupid crime of possession and use of marijuana. At the Green Party, we plan on making college debt-free so you don't have to graduate with upwards of $50,000 in debt, and I will make healthcare a human right. We need to protect this beautiful earth that we live on by going away from fossil fuels and investing into clean energy and green energy so we can pass this amazing earth that we live on to our children and to our children's children. Unlike Donald Trump, I am not a pedophile. I've never been caught peeking in the Miss Teen USA's locker room, which is girls that are 14 to 19 years of age. Why would you, fine Americans, want a pedophile to be your next president? How about you pick someone who can relate to your issues, someone who's been middle class their whole life just like yourself, a person like me, Jill Stein. If you vote for me, together we will make an America and a future that can work for all of us. Thank you.
Our first question for Ms. Stein comes from Brittany Vecchia.
What is your plan to reduce toxins, and how exactly do you plan to replace all these harmful resources with more earth-friendly ones?
So that's a great question, thank you for asking. My plan is to reduce the use of fossil fuels because they will not last us forever. And climate change is a real thing. Donald Trump's going to tell you it's a hoax made by the Chinese, but it's happening at a very alarming rate. So when I am president, I will invest some of our money into green energy, and we can eventually find a sustainable use of energy that is green. Thank you.
At this time, is there another question for Ms. Stein?
There have been rumors on the internet and facts say that your voting percent and people supporting you have been going down. How is your leadership affected, and do you still stand your ground if there is no person supporting you?
Thank you for asking that. 70% of America doesn't even know who I am. Our country is run by a dominating two-party system. You don't even know what you like. You could agree with me or Johnson, but all you know is Hillary and Trump, because that's all you see on TV. This just shows how corrupt America is, and I'm sure if I got the exposure that Trump and Hillary got, I would have so many more voters, because my ideas appeal to the young generations, and my ideas will make America green, and it will make a future and an America that can work for all of us. Thank you.
You can trust me because I'm a libertarian. And I fight for your rights. I want to protect your civil liberties. Hi, I'm Gary Johnson, and I'm the Libertarian candidate. Many of you don't know, but you're probably a libertarian. Libertarians are fiscally conservative and socially liberal. It's the best of both worlds. So that means that we support marriage equality, gender equality, LGBT rights. But we also want to keep your money in your pockets. I want to limit government. That means the government out of your homes and out of your lives. We're here to help and make your lives better. For that reason, we need to abolish the Federal Department of Education and Common Core standards. The federal government today is far too bureaucratic, and the current educational system that we have implemented is far too costly. We should be teaching you guys to realize your potential, to help you find what you're passionate about, so that when you go out to college and when you try and find a job, it's something that you truly love, so that you can make a difference. Last but not least, we need to respect and recognize the diversity of all people. That means we should be welcoming immigrants into our country, but we should be wary of any dangers associated with that. After all, we are a country built on immigrants. It's common sense to declare our British strength, and that's our diversity. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions for Mr. Johnson?
Do you approve of the troops being in Iraq?
That's an absolutely great question. The Libertarian Party stance on foreign policy, military, as such overseas, is we're not interventionists. If you look at the last decade with President Bush and not Clinton causing the whole war in Iraq, we've seen the devastating effects of having troops over there in the Middle East. We tried to make changes, regime changes, overthrow other people, and put new people in power. What's that left us is ISIS. We have ISIS today because we've gone in there, and unintentionally as a result, we've removed people in power there in those areas, and that's allowed organizations like ISIS to emerge. What we need to do instead is we need to use brains, not bombs, as Donald Trump once said on the news, he's going to bomb out of ISIS. Well, if you really think of it, how is it better than Russia? Russia is bombing Aleppo, Syria. And yes, I do know what Aleppo is. Jared Johnson does know what Aleppo is and where it is. It's in Syria. That's the middle, that's the epicenter of the Syrian crisis.
How do you plan to mend our relations with foreign nations like Russia and China?
That's an excellent question. So what we need to do is...
Please be respectful
we need to have confidence in policies. We need to be diplomatic. And so that means that we have to work across the aisle. We have to put aside our differences with countries such as China, such as Russia. But we already have a means in which to do so. Another candidate here already mentioned to you that the U.S. is heavily involved in the United Nations. If you didn't know, the U.S. is one of the big 5 countries in the United Nations. That means that our international presence is really vast and huge, because we have a huge say in what goes on in international relations. So through the UN, we can diplomatically come to means with countries such as China and Russia and try to differences that way.
We will now move on to the second question. If elected, what would be the first problem you would try to solve after you have been inaugurated as president in January?
So my first act as President of the United States would be to submit a balanced budget to Congress. We need to do that so that the government is spending the right amount of money and where money needs to be allocated. So part of that plan would be cutting back on military spending. Now you might think, why would you want to cut back on military spending with all these foreign forces and everything? I'm not saying to abolish the military. By all means, if you've seen anything with our $20 trillion debt, that's why we need to submit a balanced budget to Congress. It's stifling. The reason why we have that $20 trillion debt is largely because of our military spending. Because of our military spending, that's going to cause $10 trillion. That's half of the debt we have because of military spending. That's why I want to cut back on military spending. If you haven't seen it already, you don't understand it already, that's half of our debt right there. And what that will do is if we have a budget in place, that means the federal government can do its job and help you guys, help make your lives better. We can put more money into education, into public and social programs that will have a meaningful and impactful impact on your lives. And the last thing I want to say is, as governor of New Mexico for 2 terms, I was able to fulfill my campaign promise. How many politicians can actually say that? None, almost none. I was able to cut back the increasing budget of New Mexico. So that means that I was able to cut back the amount of money I was spending in the state. And what I was able to do with that was I was able to put that saved money into the education system in New Mexico to help students like yourselves. Thank you.
By a show of hands, how many of you have ever heard or seen someone get hurt by alcohol? Did I hear someone say homecoming 2015? Now, by a show of hands, how many of you have ever seen someone get hurt from marijuana? Nobody. This is because marijuana cannot hurt you. Marijuana is not a gateway drug, and it would take 1,500 pounds of marijuana consumed within 15 minutes to induce a lethal response. Marijuana has many, many medical benefits. Marijuana can help with, it can lift your spirits, it can help crush anxiety, it can even boost your metabolism. And it's proven to help with diseases such as Alzheimer's, arthritis, and veterans who suffer from PTSD. Marijuana can also help people, prevent cancer. And my opponents are going to tell you that I am only wanting to legalize marijuana because I love weed and because I want my whole country to be high. But that is completely false. I am doing this because I care about your lives. And I cannot stand another day when innocent Americans are thrown in jail for weed. And they're thrown in the same jail as murderers and rapists. Marijuana is great for our economy. If we legalize it for recreational and medical use in all 50 states, we will generate over $900 million in tax revenue. If you vote for me, we will make America green, and we will make a future and a country that can work for each and every single one of us. Thank you.
The first issue I plan on tackling as president is unemployment. Right now, 1 in 10 Americans between the ages of 16 and 24 are unemployed, and that does not work for me. I plan on making the biggest investment in good-paying jobs since World War II. That includes making a $20 billion initiative in good-paying jobs, and that includes jobs, apprenticeships, and internships. I am going to pave the path for a better and brighter future for every single one of you sitting here, because it is what you need and you deserve.
Jill just came up here, told you that the first thing she's gonna do is legalize marijuana. And she wants to do it not because she wants the country to be high, or the country to be able to smoke weed, whatever, but because it's gonna generate tax dollars. Jill, one time, you got so high and did an interview. Did you not say that Wi-Fi is bad for you? Can we just let that sink in? She thinks Wi-Fi is bad for you. Please. And now, Ms. Clinton just came up here and before said that she's going to be able to create more jobs than me. All I've done in the past 30 years, while you're in politics, supposedly creating jobs, all I've done is create jobs. My companies have employed... Excuse me?
Nothing.
Okay. You talk for 30 years. Let me talk for a minute, please. So the first issue I'm going to handle is immigration. Illegal immigrants are taking our country's jobs and committing crimes while here and taking up spots in our prison, costing our government money. By deporting all criminal immigrants, our economy will thrive and we will have more room in our prisons for all those marijuana offenders that Jill doesn't want to be put in jail. And we're going to build the wall, and it's going to be huge, and Mexico's going to pay for it. Thank you.
We now invite the vice presidential candidates to come down and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Mike Pence from the Republican Party.
Hi, I'm Tim Kaine from the Democratic Party.
Hi, I'm Ajami Baraka from the Green Party.
Hi, I'm Governor Bill Weld from the Libertarian Party.
At this time, we will now accept questions from the audience. Please be sure when asking a question that it is both respectful and school appropriate.
I have a question for Donald Trump. How are you going to get Mexico to pay for the wall?
Many people are skeptical about this idea because they think that I'm just going to walk into the Mexican president's office and be like, hey, can I get all that money for the wall that you owe me? Well, that's not how it's going to go down. We're going to kill Mexico with trade. We're going to put so many sanctions on them that they're going to pay for the wall indirectly. And we're going to tax their visas for legal immigration so much that the wall will be paid for by Mexico and solely Mexico. Thank you.
My question is for Gary Johnson. Now, Mr. Johnson, I know that you are a strong advocate for the smoking of marijuana. I just want to ask if this is the type of leadership that the children in our country want to look towards.
That's not a good question. I have smoked marijuana before. I actually stopped. I made a pledge to stop smoking marijuana. If I get elected to office, I will continue that pledge so that I am in top shape, top form to help the country, help the U.S. to make the lives better.
So I have a question for Hillary Clinton. Do you have any comments for the time you flew first class with your husband to attend the execution of a mentally ill black man, Ricky Ray Rector, in 1992?
I think what's important is the present. My husband is not running for president. I am. What's important is what I'm going to do. All of my policies are going to give money back to the people, back to you, and it's going to make America, it's going to put it back on that world pedestal where it should be.
You said, Hillary Clinton, you said what's important is you. So if you have relations with these type of people, how do you expect to lead a country?
I said what's important is you, like you the people, you the middle class.
Yeah, but why should we elect people with rate?
No follow-up questions. At this time, is there a question for Ms. Stein?
Ms. Stein, what is your plan to take care of ISIS?
My understanding is to cut off all of their resources. Okay? When we cut off all of the
resources, they will just dissolve. They won't come back. Once we cut their resources off, we don't have to worry about them anymore. We don't have to put soldiers on the ground to fight. We can talk it democratically, and we can use this to stop them through peace. And that's a great question.
My question is for Hillary Clinton. Alright, so you just called out Donald Trump for one of his many successful businesses for losing $3 billion. Well, it's not uncommon for successful businesses like Apple to lose billions of dollars. But my question to you is, how did the State Department manage to lose or misplace $6 billion under you being Secretary of State?
That money was misplaced when in international negotiations, which is common when we do these negotiations. But moving forward, we will do everything we can to keep America where it should be and keep its money growing and its unemployment lowering, decreasing.
Are you sure the money's not in the Clinton Foundation?
Money is not in the Clinton Foundation.
So, Mr. Trump, you said that you want to put marijuana users in jail, but do you plan on putting rapists, sex offenders, or pedophiles in jail?
Of course, these are crimes. And so is smoking marijuana, but President Obama seems to think that he doesn't need to enforce the fact that marijuana is illegal on the federal level. So, yes, I'm planning on putting these people in jail because they are committing crimes.
So you're going to put yourself in jail?
Thank you, Jill. Relax. Relax. Put you in jail, too.
Calm down a bit there, Jill Stein.
I have a question for Jill Stein. How do you plan on cutting those resources?
So what we are going to do is we're going to have a weapon embargo, which cuts off some supplies. So that we will not be indirectly supplying ISIS with weapons. We will also be cutting the funding from other countries, other foreign nations, who are indirectly ISIS. Thank you.
At this time, is there a question for Mr. Johnson?
Who do you think is responsible for these cyber attacks? Is it Russia or China?
So you're talking about the cyber attacks in Russia?
So basically what happened in Russia was that these cyber attacks were committed on servers that were not owned by the Russian government, so we're not going to point fingers at Russia. They were on independent, privately owned servers, and we have no control over that, so we're not going to start a war with Russia over this or something that wasn't under their control. We need to make sure that we give Russia the resources to make sure they're regulating their servers, so that way these independent attacks don't happen again. Thank you.
Alright, I got a question for Trump, Hillary, and Gary Johnson. So, what do you guys plan to do about WikiLeaks? Are you going to ban it, or are you just going to let it go?
Okay, that's a great question. By all means, some people might think it's insensitive for a source like that to exist, but part of our First Amendment right is freedom of the press and freedom to express yourselves. Does that sense? So, by all means, I'm not going to do that because I respect and I fully support our First Amendment rights and your First Amendment rights. And that's why you should vote for the Libertarian Party, because I'm the biggest advocate to protect your personal liberties. Thank you.
I'm trying to answer that question too. So it's clear that WikiLeaks was done by the Russian and the Russian government. Mr. Trump over here has a really good friend named Vladimir Putin, and it's really sad that an international country is trying to mess with this election. It has never happened before, and it is happening now, so it must stop, and Putin must be stopped.
I think it's really sad that Hillary Clinton never got elected to office. WikiLeaks, I do not think that a source like that should be banned, because it's showing us how corrupt our politicians really are, and it's showing us the truth behind our system. And as Mr. Johnson said before, we have the freedom of press, and we have the freedom to know what's going on with our politicians.
Thank you all for attending our presidential town hall meeting today. A reminder, you will be voting for which of these candidates you feel should be elected President of the United States in your history classes on Monday. As you leave, please be sure to take all personal items. Welcome students, teachers, parents, and administrators. Thank you for coming. Please remove all of your hats. Welcome to Parsippany Hills High School's 2016 Presidential Campaign Town Hall meeting. We're going to hear from 4 different candidates running for president in next week's important presidential election. You will also have an opportunity to vote in your classes on who you think should be president of the United States. I will be asking the candidates of each party to answer important questions. They will have 2 minutes to respond to my first question. We will then take questions from the audience for each candidate. I will then ask a second question where the candidates will have 1 minute to respond. After the candidates have answered my questions in the allotted time, they will take questions from the audience. We ask that you remain respectful to all of the speakers participating in today's event. Candidates, please introduce yourselves.
I am Donald J. Trump, representing the Republican Party.
I'm Hillary Clinton from the Democratic Party.
Jill Stein, representing your Green Party.
Hi, I'm Gary Johnson, and I'm the Libertarian candidate.
Our audience today is mostly made of young Americans. Many here today are concerned about their futures. Why should young Americans trust you with their future concerns and vote for you?
Before I start, I'd like to apologize to Ms. Clinton for being a little ruthless in some of the comments I've made. And I'd actually like to pay her a compliment. So, Hillary, I think that the orange pantsuit that the FBI director is going to give you after they finish your investigation is going to make your eyes look really nice in that jail cell. So, something that directly affects you guys is education. Education is the cornerstone of our nation. And without a good education system, this country has no future. Today, under President Obama, over the past 8 years, our country's education system has only fallen further and further on the ranks. We spend the most money per student among major established countries, yet our students still rank towards the bottom. This needs to change, which is why I, Donald Trump, propose that we support school choice. School choice allows low-income American students to take control of their future and allows them to escape from failing school districts. Ms. Clinton's going to come up here and say that she supports a high education for everyone and that she wants everyone to be able to get a world-class education. Yet she clearly opposes school choice because one of her biggest donors, the American Federation of Teachers, does not support school choice, and they have donated over $2 million to her campaign and $1.6 million to the Under Investigation Clinton Foundation. So I heard that Parsippany Hills is a great school, and I want to hear what some of you guys think about some of the candidates. So does anyone have anything to say about Mr. Gary Johnson?
I think Gary Johnson must be pretty high thinking he's going to be president.
Sounds like an informed voter. Does anyone have anything to say about Ms. Stein?
I don't know much about Jill Stein, but I'm pretty sure she thinks Wi-Fi is bad for your health.
These are our candidates for president, everyone. Does anyone have anything to say about Ms. Clinton?
Yeah, I heard that her favorite key on the keyboard is delete.
And what about me, Donald Trump?
I know Donald Trump is a patriot. I know Donald Trump loves America, and I know that he's going to make it great again.
Exactly. Just what I've heard. This school is very informed. And you heard it here first. I, Donald J. Trump, am going to make America great again for everyone. Thank you.
Our first question for Mr. Trump comes from Savon Desai of Ms. Rosendahl's class.
You
mentioned a wall being built to funnel evil out of the U.S., but what about the evil that's already here? To what extent are you willing to go?
The evil that is already here, including criminal illegal immigrants. These criminal illegal immigrants are going to be deported because they're killing our economy. By keeping these criminals in our prisons, they're costing our country money. And yes, this wall is going to keep evil out. That is the big key. By not allowing any more evil into this country, we will become great again, and we will become safe again.
At this time, are there any other questions for Mr. Trump? If you are going to ask a question, please stand, introduce yourself before you ask it, and remember that all questions must be respectful to the speakers and school appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, Conrad.
Mr. Trump, do you know that the illegal immigrants usually are here because of false paperwork that wasn't 100% completed? What about those people? Yes. As I said, we are only deporting criminal illegal immigrants. So we're not just deporting someone who came here and maybe overstayed their visa and had a child and developed a family here. We are not deporting that person. We're deporting the person that came here and raped an American woman.
Young people are what make this country great. They always bring new and bright ideas to the table, and that is exactly what we need. We need young Americans who will keep America moving and on its feet. And with me as president, I will make that possible. Part of letting young Americans help our country is by giving them the education that they deserve. I am going to ensure that every child from every zip code gets a world-class education, starting with high-quality preschool. There will be fewer and fairer standardized tests for the elementary and secondary level schools, and your college will be debt-free. After 20 years of faithfully paying your debt, that's it. You're done. And community college will be tuition-free. I would also like to touch upon the minimum wage. Right now, the minimum wage is at $7.25 an hour. That might be all right for the teenagers such as yourselves who just want a little extra pocket money, but it is not right for those who are trying to provide for a family. We need to increase it to $12 an hour, and that is enough for a family to provide for themselves. With the $12 minimum wage, you'll be able to provide for your families and for yourself. Also, the cost of healthcare needs to go down. Once you turn 26, you're off of your parents' healthcare plan. And then what are you supposed to do? Because everything is too expensive. We should not think that you are going to be all right once you're on your own, since you have no idea what you have to do. Co-pays are too expensive, your deductibles are too expensive, and even out-of-pocket costs are too expensive, such as prescription drugs. Stand with me, Hillary Clinton, and let's be stronger together.
At this time, are there any questions for Ms. Clinton?
Do I have to introduce myself? I'm Dr. Ben Carson, and my question for you is, do you have a different plan for healthcare, or will you be using the same Obamacare format that Obama
Well, my plan includes changing and bettering the aid that you get from Medicare and Medicaid. We will make more stuff available for widowers and for mothers on maternity leave.
Is there another question for Ms. Clinton?
Raise the minimum wage to $12, won't it lose jobs and everything would become more expensive?
Well, my opponent, Jill Stein, is planning to raise the minimum wage to $16.50. So with raising it to $12, it won't have as much as a detrimental effect as it was raising it to $16.50.
Hello, amazing students of Park Hills. My name is Jill Stein, and I am the perfect candidate to protect your future. I'm a mother and a medical doctor. I know that there is no future for my kids unless there's a future for all kids. I am the one candidate calling for canceling student debt and bailing out a generation of young people like we bailed out the bankers of Wall Street. I can do this for your generation so you can be the stimulus package of our dreams and make higher education free so you won't have to graduate college with upwards of $50,000. And I will make healthcare a human right. Also, I will legalize marijuana for recreational and medical use because I cannot stand another day when innocent Americans like yourself are thrown into jail for the simple and stupid crime of possession and use of marijuana. If you elect me, I will make America green again so we can get off of using fossil fuels and invest into green energy so we can pass this amazing planet that we live on to our children, and our children can pass it on to their children. Remember that a vote for me is a vote to make an America and a future that can work for all of us. Thank you.
Our first question for Ms. Stein comes from Andrea Rodriguez of Ms. Rosendahl's class.
If you were to become president, what environmental changes would you make realistically?
Realistically, that was a great question. My first thing as president I would choose is to get off using fossil fuels. Because unlike what Donald Trump thinks, climate change is a real thing and it's happening very quickly. By 2030, we will be completely dependent on green energy that is sustainable. Because fossil fuels will not last us forever. Thank you, that was a great question.
At this time, is there another question for Ms. Stein?
I'm Lucas Wolin. My question to you is, does your plan for green energy, does that involve drawing from nuclear energy, which has posed insane danger, an insane threat in the past in other countries?
Yes, I will take funding away from nuclear energy and I will put that all into green energy because that is our future. That is what we need as a country. We need something sustainable and we need to get away from fossil fuels.
You should trust me because I'm a libertarian. I fight for you. And I want to protect your civil liberties. Hi, I'm Gary Johnson, and I'm a libertarian candidate. Many of you don't know, you're probably a libertarian. Libertarians are physically conservative and socially liberal. So it's the best of both worlds. That means we support gender equality, equal marriage, gay rights. But we also want you to keep your money in your pockets. I want a limited government. That means the government out of your lives, out of your homes. The government is here to help you, to make your lives better. For that reason, we should abolish the Federal Department of Education and all Common Core standards. The federal government today is far too bureaucratic. The current educational system that we have in place is far too costly. We should be teaching or having students, we should give you guys a chance to reach your potential, to find what you love to do, so that when you go on to college and when you go on to find a job, you can truly make an impact. Last, but certainly not least, we need to respect and recognize the diversity of all people. So that means we should be welcoming immigrants into our country. But we should also be wary of any dangers associated with that. After all, we're immigrants, so it's just common sense. Let's put our registration on diversity. Thank you.
Our first question for Mr. Johnson comes from Cindy Pisa of Ms. Rosendahl's class.
sort of rushed when I made this question, but what are your thoughts on foreign policy, specifically ISIS?
That's a great question. First off, I want to clear something up. I know what Aleppo is. Aleppo is in Syria. That's the epicenter of the Syrian crisis. Okay, to answer your question, what's my thoughts on ISIS? ISIS is absolutely horrible. It's disgusting. We need to eradicate it, but we need to do so with a non-interventionist approach. What that means is that we're not going to send American troops needlessly over to the Middle East like we've done in the last decade under the Bush administration and also partly under the Obama administration. What we need to do is we use our brains and not bombs. And as Donald Trump already said, he's going to bomb the out of ISIS and everything. What is that going to do? How is he any better than Russia? With Russia bombing Aleppo and Syria and killing innocent children and civilians. How is Donald Trump's policy any better? You should ask yourself that. Also, we need to cut back on military spending because we're spending way too much on our military. We're spending 10 times more on our military than the next 10 countries that come after us. And also, to finish up answering your question, wait, can you just repeat it really quickly again? Okay. What we need to do is we can contribute to fighting ISIS through our international efforts. None of the candidates here will talk to you about UN. The U.S. is involved in the UN. We're one of the big 5 countries in the UN. We have an enormous amount of international influence. We're also involved in NATO. NATO is an alliance with Europe and Israel. And that's comprised of 28 countries. And with all that power, with 28 countries, we can surely destroy ISIS. ISIS is already being destroyed. We're taking out their oil refineries. We just need to continue to do so. We need to be smart about it, and we should be non-interventionists. Thank you.
Is there another question for Mr. Johnson at this time?
Why should voters look to third-party candidates like Mr. Johnson or even Mr. Johnson or Ms. Stein when it is clear that this race is really between Mr. Trump or Ms. Clinton?
That's an absolutely great question. The stigma with third parties is that if you vote for us, you're wasting your vote. Remember this. If you vote for any of these 2 major party candidates, ask yourself what's going to happen. We already have the establishment candidate, Hillary Clinton, and we have the absolute moron in Donald Trump, who knows not what he's talking about at all. He creates statistics on the spot. I mean, come on, politicians are already bad enough, but to create statistics on the spot, I mean, that's a pretty low move right there. There's also the fact that you as Americans, you can vote for who you want. You should not feel pressure, you should not be scared to make your own decision, to support who you want to support. A vote for me or Jill Stein is a vote for yourself. It's a vote of confidence and American principle. And all the values that make our country great. Unlike what Donald Trump believes he's elected. Thank you.
Move to the second question. If elected, what would be the first problem you would try to solve after you've been inaugurated as president in January?
My first act as President of the United States would be submit a balanced budget to Congress. We need a balanced budget in place so that we are spending the right amount of money on different sectors. So, what the plan would involve would be cutting military spending. You guys might think, why would we want to cut military spending when we have organizations and threats overseas like ISIS and such? Well, I already told you, we're involved with NATO, 28-country alliance. We have the power of 28 countries. ISIS is not even a country for crying out loud. Okay? Now, in terms of having a budget in place, that would allow the federal government to do its job. We would have money to improve the education system. As I said before, we need to abolish the federal government education so that you guys aren't being taught to take standardized tests, so that you can actually find what you're passionate about and really make a difference in American society and really leave your mark on society. What we need to do is budget because it's going to affect you guys. The federal government will have enough money to make a meaningful difference in your lives. We would create social and public programs that will have a unique impact on your lives. And lastly, I just want to finish off with the fact that as governor of New Mexico in my 2 terms, I was actually to deliver on my campaign promises. How many politicians can say that they delivered on their campaign promises? Not many. Well, I can. I was able to cut the 10% annual growth of the state budget. That means that I was
You're 1 minute to the last.
That means that I was able to cut back spending and put that towards student needs, towards needs that you would need, that would affect you, the students.
Mr. Johnson, please finish up.
By a show of hands, how many of you have ever seen or heard of someone get hurt from alcohol? When was this? 2015? Now, by a show of hands, how many of you have ever heard or seen someone get hurt from marijuana? I'm sorry, sir, but that's not true. Marijuana has never killed someone. Marijuana is not a gateway drug, and marijuana, it would take 1,500 pounds of marijuana consumed within 15 minutes to induce a lethal response. Marijuana is amazing for our country. It has many, many medical benefits. It can crush anxiety. It can boost your metabolism. It can even lift your spirits. And it can help with diseases such as depression, Alzheimer's, and it can help our veterans who suffer from PTSD. Marijuana has even been proven to help prevent and solve and cure cancer. Also, marijuana is amazing for our economy. When legalized in all 50 states for recreational and medical use, we will generate over $900 million in tax revenue. And what will we do with this money? We'll take it and we put it back into our community to fund our public schools, for infrastructure. This marijuana will help improve our lives directly. Unlike my opponent, Mr. Trump, I am not a pedophile. I have never been caught peeking into a locker room of the Miss Teen USA pageant candidates that are 14 to 19 years of age. Why would you want a pedophile to be your next president? How about you elect someone who is middle class like yourself, someone who can relate to the issues that you go through every single day? How about an outsider like me, Jill Stein? A vote for me is a vote so that we, together as a nation, can make an America and a future that can work for all of us. Thank you.
The first issue I plan on tackling as president is unemployment. Right now, every 1 in 10 Americans between the ages of 16 and through 24 are unemployed, and that does not work for me. I am going to make the biggest investment in good-paying jobs since World War II. I will make a $20 billion initiative in good-paying jobs like jobs, apprenticeships, and internships. I'm going to pave the path to a better and a brighter future for every single one of you sitting here, because you should get the opportunity to have a job you want and you deserve. Thank you.
Now, Gary came up here before, and he told you that bombing the hell out of ISIS is not the way to solve the problem. But you know what? Someone has to die, and it's our families or theirs. So what do you think the choice is? And Jill came up and said that if we legalize weed, all of our problems are going to be solved. Jill, how high were you when you told reporters that you think Wi-Fi is bad for your health? How can we trust this woman to make decisions about our country when the internet has been around for so long and she thinks Wi-Fi is bad for all of you? We're surrounded by Wi-Fi 24 hours a day. Do any of you have anything severely wrong with you caused by Wi-Fi that you know of? No. Now, the first issue that I would tackle, a real issue, is illegal immigration. By deporting all criminal illegal immigrants and building a wall, our country will become safe again and will become great again. Thank you.
I now invite the vice presidential candidates to come down and introduce yourselves.
Governor Mike Pence.
Hi, I'm Tim Kaine, representing the Democratic Party.
Hi, I'm Azuma Baraka of the Green Party.
Hi, I'm Governor Bill Wells of the Libertarian Party.
At this time, we will open questions from the audience. Please be sure that all questions, again, are respectful to all the students participating in today's town hall, as well as school appropriate.
Okay, Jill Stein. So, you said that you're in the middle class, yet again, that you're a multimillionaire, and according to the IRS, you're in the top 1% of all Americans. So, how do you qualify as middle class?
Thanks for asking that, but I'm sorry, my friend, you're wrong. I am middle class, and I've always been middle class. I'm proud of it. Okay? Donald Trump is part of the 1%. Hillary Clinton is part of the 1%. Even Gary Johnson is part of the 1%. I'm part of the 99%. You need to elect a person who can represent your ideas and what you go through every single day and fix the issues that you need the most. He cannot relate to anything you go through, and neither can she. Neither can he. I'm the only one that can help you so you can help me. Thank you. That was a good question.
My question is for Donald Trump. So the way the Electoral College works is that there's not just one election. Each individual district has its own election, and those votes contribute to the state total. So my question is, what proven studies or proof do you have to offer, besides your opinion, that the election is rigged?
Clearly, all these women that have come out against me with rape allegations and sexual assault allegations were sent by Miss Clinton to try and tear my campaign down. So while it may not be the actual election, the campaign process and the campaign run by my competitor, Miss Liar Liar Pantsuit on Fire, is rigged.
Donald Trump, based on your previous answer, how can you claim that you respect women more than anyone, but you are about to go on trial on December 16th for the rape of a 13-year-old girl who said you have raped her on more than 4 occasions?
Well, I've done some things in my past that I'm not proud of, but so has everyone. So, I would like to sincerely, please, thank you. So, I have said some things and I've done some things that I'm really not proud of, and I have apologized for them, and I will continue to apologize for them. But I still am clearly the most qualified up here because my resume does not include the death of 4 Americans in Benghazi. And my resume does not include 35,000 deleted emails. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions for Ms. Clinton or Mr. Johnson?
Okay, so Mr. Johnson, you had said that you wanted to keep this country safe. So, would you raise security in airports to make sure that that would be achieved instead of building a wall?
That's a great question. I think today, we have to look at changing or reforming our systems. Every system can be improved always. As long as we have that mentality, that's what makes America so great. We strive to do the best, and if we always do that, then we can ensure that all our airports and our country is actually safe. In terms of Donald Trump with his ridiculous law saying that Mexicans will pay for it, he wasn't going to pay for it after he's called them rapists and criminals and all this disgusting stuff. Yeah, he's really not better than any of the Mexicans. He called them rapists, and unintentionally, he just admitted that he was a rapist based off of Christine's last question there. If you really think of it, all we would make America great again. Forget this Oompa Loompa here. All we would make America great again. Yeah, those questions and not Oompa Loompa. Thank you. Aleppo is in Syria, my friend.
At this time, are there any questions for Ms. Clinton?
question for you is that being that you're the only candidate out there that has funded their campaign over 20% of the super PAC money, how can the general electorate trust you to have their best interests in mind and not those of companies that funded your campaign?
I'll answer this question on behalf of Ms. Clinton. I think you have some flawed information. I think what you're trying to refer to is my charity, which we're very, very proud of. We've accumulated money for some great things, and we've also given back to the community. We have been and will continue to be for the middle class, and we will work only for you, and we will not take advantage of your money. Thank you.
Yes.
Is there another question at this time?
My question is for Mr. Trump. So, after the recent burning of a black church in Mississippi, which was then vandalized with the painting of Vote Trump on the inside, how do you condone all of the hate shown by your supporters and even the hate shown by yourself?
My supporters are angry. They're angry with the corruption that our political system has shown over these past 8 years. And I do not condone the violent behavior that they have shown, but it just shows how fed up the American people are with Ms. Clinton and the Obama administration and how this political system runs today.
Is there a question for Clinton, Stein, or Johnson?
I have another question for Ms. Stein. Earlier, when in response to my question about nuclear energy, you said, when I pointed out that it is a very dangerous source of energy, you said that the government would not fund nuclear energy. However, you said that you would support green energy, and as it is, nuclear energy is a form of green energy. In fact, it's one of the cleanest forms of energy. It's just that it poses a very dangerous threat, aside from it being an extremely clean source of energy.
What I meant by saying that was I mean that we need to get off the fossil fuels to run these lights that are here, the water, everything that runs on electricity. We need to invest in green energy like solar energy, water energy. And I'd just like to point out that you're going to be voting my president. So would you rather vote for a rapist, a pedophile, or a liar? Or would you like to vote third party and vote green? And vote for a future that can work for all of us?
We will take one final question for either Clinton or Johnson.
Okay. Mr. Jerry Johnson, as a representative of the American Communist Party here, do you know that tonight?
Next question. You can't start with saying.
Okay, I'm sorry. May I just ask my question?
Inappropriate
No,
question.
it is very appropriate. It's something that he said. I have enough of this in advance. Just let me ask my question.
No, go to someone else. Does anyone else have a question for either Clinton or Johnson?
I think you should definitely use the attention in the room. However, Mrs. Clinton, I have a question for you. If you're elected president, how will this email investigation affect the way you govern? Is this just going to encompass you rather than actually attending to the real issues in our country?
Well, actually, since the investigation has reopened, again, as the first time, nothing criminal has been found, and it won't affect me because nothing criminal has or will be found. Thank you.
Thank you all for attending our 2016 presidential town hall meeting. As you leave, please be sure to take any personal garbage, especially lollipop sticks and wrappers with you. And remember that you will be voting in your history classes on Monday for who you feel should be the next president of the United States. Welcome students, teachers, parents, and administrators. Thank you for coming. who you think should be President of the United States. I will be asking the candidates of each party to answer important questions. They will have 2 minutes to respond to my first question. We will then take questions from the audience for each candidate. We will then ask a second question where candidates will have 1 minute to respond. After the candidates have answered my questions in the allotted time, they will take questions from the audience. We ask that you remain respectful to all of the speakers participating in today's events. Candidates, please introduce yourselves.
Good morning, everyone. I am Donald J. Trump, running for the Republican Party.
Good morning, I'm Hillary Clinton from the Democratic Party.
Jill Stein, representing your Green Party.
Hi, I'm Gary Johnson, and I'm the Libertarian candidate.
Our audience today is mostly aimed at young Americans. Many here today are concerned about their future. Why should young Americans trust you with their future concerns and vote for you?
Education is the cornerstone of our nation. Without a great education system, this country has no future. And over the past 8 years, our education system has only declined more and more thanks to Ms. Hillary Clinton and President Obama. We need change. We spend more money per student than any other major established nation, yet our students still rank towards the bottom. And I will change this. By funding school choice, we allow our low-income students to take their future into their hands and to escape from federally failing schools. Now, I've heard that Parsippany Hills is a pretty great school district, so I have a feeling that you guys are pretty informed on politics and this election. So I'm going to ask, does anybody know anything about Mr. Gary Johnson?
I can't trust him with my foreign affairs.
Sounds like a pretty informed voter. Does anyone know anything about Miss Jill Stein? Do you?
She wishes to crash the American economy.
He also sounds like a pretty informed voter. I'm pretty happy with what I'm hearing. Does anyone know anything about Miss Hillary Clinton? Oh, nice.
I know that she looked good in an orange jumpsuit in jail.
Lastly, does anyone know anything about me, Mr. Donald Trump?
He's a patriot, he's a genius, and he's someone that will make America great again.
Exactly. I am the person that this country needs to make America great again for everyone. Thank you.
Our first question for Mr. Trump comes from Afton Mohammed of Mr. Beast's class.
Hold on, wait for the mic.
Please stand when you ask your questions.
What do you think about immigrants from the Middle East?
I believe that although there's a terrible situation going on in the Middle East right now, we must put our American citizens' safety first. So we cannot accept any immigrants from the country of Syria right now because we do not have a sufficient way of vetting them and ensuring that they have no ties to terrorist groups.
At this time, are there any other questions for Mr. Trump? Please introduce yourself before you ask your question and stand. Thank you.
My name is Alan Copeland, and my question is, how old are you?
69 years old.
You're really old.
Please keep to asking questions only.
Young people are what make this country great. They always bring new and bright ideas to the table, and that is exactly what we need. We need young Americans, such as all of you sitting here today, that will keep America on its feet. And with me as president, I will make that possible. Part of letting young Americans help our country is by giving them the education that they deserve. I will make sure that every child from every zip code gets the world-class education that they deserve, starting with high-quality preschool. I will also make standardized tests fairer, and there will be fewer of them for elementary and secondary schools. I will also make college debt-free. After 20 years of paying your debt faithfully, you will be done. That's it. Everyone deserves an education, and I will make sure everyone gets that. Another part of my plan includes increasing the minimum wage. Right now, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Sure, that's fine for teenagers such as all of you who just wants a couple extra dollars in their pocket, but it does not suffice for those who are trying to provide for their families. Raising the minimum wage to $12 an hour only benefits everyone. My opponent, Jill Stein, wants to raise it to $16.50, and that's just a little too high. Raising it to $12 an hour, you will be able to put food on the table for your family, buy that new shirt that you want, or even those new pair of shoes. Lastly, I believe that healthcare, the prices of everything, needs to drop. All of you are on your parents' healthcare plans until you're 26. And once you turn 26, that's it. You're on your own. We should not make you pay for anything that you're not ready for. We will decrease the cost of copays and deductibles, and we will decrease the price of anything you have to pay with out-of-pocket money. Stand with me, Hillary Clinton, and let's be stronger together.
Our first question for Ms. Clinton comes from Molly Ward of Mr. Lent's class.
How do you feel about the investigation being reopened?
I believe that it's highly suspicious that the FBI reopened this case 10 days before an election. This was honestly a politically motivated stunt, and the FBI is going to find the same thing as they did in the first investigation, which is nothing criminal.
Wrong.
Our next question for Ms. Clinton comes from Victoria Matthew of Mr. Bedese's class.
She's over there. Right there. Here, I got it.
As a country already in major debt, how would going to war with Iran or North Korea help us economically?
I would not like to go to war with them. That's not my first option. My first option would be negotiations, because if the only reason I would choose to go to war with them is if they continue building up their nuclear stock, and we're trying to prevent that. So my first option is always negotiation. Thank you.
Hello, amazing students of Parr Hills. My name is Jill Stein, and I am the perfect candidate to protect your future. I'm a mother and a medical doctor, and I know that there is no future for my kids unless there's a future for all kids. I am the one candidate calling for canceling student debt and bailing out a generation of young people like we bailed out the bankers of Wall Street. I can do this for your generation to unleash you to be the stimulus package of our dreams. And I will make higher education free for all, so you won't have to graduate with upwards of $50,000 in debt, and I will make healthcare a human right. I will also legalize marijuana because it is horrendous how fine Americans like yourself are thrown in jail for the stupid crime of possession and use of marijuana. A vote for me is a vote to make America green, and I will reduce the use of fossil fuels because they will not last us forever, and we need to invest into green energy so we can pass this beautiful earth that we live on to our children, and then our children can pass it on to their children. Remember, guys, a vote for me is a vote to make an America and a future that can work for all of us. Thank you.
Our first question for Ms. Stein comes from Ryan Forcelli of Mr. Lattice class.
Jill Stein, what are your main ideas to make America better?
I believe that America has always been great and is still great to this day. But to make America even better, I will legalize marijuana in all 50 states for recreational and medical use. I will make America green by getting us off fossil fuels and investing into green energy. And I will make college free for you because I believe that you can be the stimulus package of our dreams and make America the best it can be. Thank you. That was a great question.
At this time, are there any other questions for Ms. Stein?
Do you support the LGBT community?
That's a great question, and absolutely I support the gay community. I believe that gay marriage is amazing, and I support equal rights for everyone. I also believe that women should be allowed to have an abortion because nobody can tell them what they can and cannot do with their body and if they can have a child or not, if they want to. Thank
You can trust me because I'm a libertarian. I fight for you, and I want to protect your civil liberties. Many of you might not know, but you're probably a libertarian. Libertarians are fiscally conservative and socially liberal. It's the best of both worlds. We support gender equality, gay rights, but we also want to keep your money in your pockets. I also want a limited government. That means the government out of your lives and out of your homes. We're here to help and make your lives better. For that reason, we need to abolish the Federal Department of Education. The system right now is far too costly, and our federal government is being far too bureaucratic. We need to help you, as students, help realize your potential and what you want to do and what you love to do. We shouldn't teach you to pass a standardized test. Last, but certainly not least, we need to respect the diversity of all people. That means welcoming immigrants into our country, but being wary of any dangers associated with that. After all, we are a country built on immigrants. It's just common sense to declare our British strength. After all, it's just our diversity. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions for Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Gary Johnson, have you heard of the recent medical study that marijuana has caused heart attacks? So what's your stance on marijuana?
That's a great question. In terms of marijuana, I want to legalize marijuana. To your point in your question, there have been no documented deaths with the use of marijuana. So there are no dangers associated with that, or these fatal dangers. We should definitely legalize marijuana. If you look at our prison system right now, we have the highest incarceration rate in the world. What that means is that our prisons are stacked. They're full. They're overpopulated, for crying out loud. And the biggest reason is because of drugs. Because we're arresting people and throwing them in jail for sentences up to 10, 20 years because of use of marijuana. What that's doing is basically causing the federal government to pay for these prisons, and it's wasting our money. And so that's why I want to legalize marijuana. So we can save money, and so that we can help people, do what they want to do. And if that means that they want to, smoke a blunt, well, by all means, the Libertarian Party is for liberty entirely. So, yeah, that's why. Thank you.
Is there another question for Mr. Johnson?
education. How are you improving our educational systems?
That's an absolute great question. Basically, the whole point of doing that is so that the government, can help you. So that we can help you guys. So that you guys can get the education that you deserve. So that you're not being taught to pass standardized tests. So that you guys don't need to have to worry about something like the PART as a requirement in order to pass high school. You guys already have to pass your SATs and any other standardized tests just to get into college. We don't need to burden you even more. Thank you.
We will now move on to the second question. If elected, what would be the first problem you would try to solve after you've been inaugurated as president in January?
My first act as President of the United States would be to submit a balanced budget to Congress. Why we need to do that, you might ask? It's because by 2017, our debt will have accumulated to $20 trillion. That debt is absolutely stifling. We need to have a budget in place so that we can appropriate the right amount of money to what needs to be appropriated to. So that means that cutting our military spending, because we spend way too much money on our military. What that would do would be to help you guys and put more money into programs that would affect you. Putting a better educational system in place. Funding more money towards your education, towards infrastructure, towards industries and jobs that would affect you guys that's relevant to you. Thank you.
By a show of hands, how many of you have ever seen or heard of someone who's gotten hurt from alcohol? Did I hear someone say Homecoming 2015? Now, by a show of hands, how many of you have ever seen or heard of someone get hurt from marijuana? I'm sorry, sir, it's never happened. Marijuana cannot hurt you. Marijuana has never killed anybody, and it would take 1,500 pounds of marijuana consumed within 15 minutes to induce a lethal response. Marijuana has many, many medical benefits. It can lift your spirits, it can crush anxiety, and it can boost your metabolism. Marijuana is proven to help with diseases such as depression, Crohn's disease. It can even help veterans who suffer from PTSD. Marijuana is proven to help prevent and help cancer. Marijuana is great for the economy. If we legalize it in all 50 states for medical and recreational use, in the first year, we will generate over $900 million in tax revenue. Marijuana is what we need and is the first issue that I will tackle, because together, we can make an America and a future that can work for each and every single one of us. Thank you.
The first problem I will take on as president will be unemployment. Right now, 1 in 10 Americans between the ages of 16 and 24 are unemployed, and that does not sit well with me. I will make the biggest investment in good-paying jobs since World War II. I am going to make a $20 billion initiative in good-paying jobs, which includes jobs, internships, and apprenticeships. I believe that every single one of you sitting here deserves the opportunity to get a job that you want. I am going to pave the path to a good job for every single one of you, because you deserve the future you want and need.
Sorry, I just can't help but laughing. Hillary's been talking about that for 30 years. You guys weren't even born, and she still hasn't done it. Alright. So, Jill came up here and tried to tell you that we're going to legalize marijuana. That's the first thing she's going to do. It's a very manly voice, Jill. She seems to think that if you guys can all smoke a joint or whatever you want, all of our problems are going to go away. But they're not. We have bigger problems than just legalizing marijuana so you can smoke it whenever you want, or you can smoke it whenever you want. The first problem I will tackle is immigration. We need to build the wall, and that is the first thing that I'm going to do when I become president, because illegal immigrants are killing this country's economy. Thank you.
At this time, we welcome all presidential candidates to come up and introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Mike Pence from the Republican Party.
Hello, I'm Tim Kaine from the Democratic Party.
Hi, I'm Ajami Baraka of the Green Party.
Hi, I'm Governor Bill Weld of the Libertarian Party. At this time, we will now accept questions from the audience.
Okay, so I have a question for Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Jill Stein. Now, I know it's been talked about with Barry Johnson over there, but can you name a world leader that you look forward to working with?
You know what? That's a really great question. Thank you so much. Vladimir Putin and I, we're going to be great friends. A lot of great things made on there. Our relationship, it's going to be huge. And you know what? I think it's ridiculous that Gary can't even name a foreign leader. And I don't even understand why he's on the same stage as me right now. Thank you.
As part of the Democratic Party, we want to uphold all of our alliances internationally so that we can make America safer. Primarily NATO is one of the best choices that we ever made, aligning with them and our allies in Iraq and Iran so that we can stop terrorism and make America great.
I think that we should model our marijuana system after Canada. It is legal in British Columbia, and they gain so much tax revenue. I believe that we, if you elect me, we will keep all our alliances worldwide, because I get along with everyone. Everyone loves me. I'm a friendly person. I'm a great person to know. You're going to love me as president. Thank
Is there a question for Johnson at this time?
So you said you want to eliminate the Department of Education. Is there any any other ways you'll shrink the government?
So you're asking what other programs we would cut? Okay, so obviously, like you said, the Department of Education, we want to cut down on our military spending because we spend far too much money in that. We're also going to bring cuts to Social Security because it's not helping Americans, and we need to find a system that works. So we're going to reform our Social Security system, and we're going to reform our military spending and our budget. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
I have a question for Jill Stein. How do you feel about Black Lives Matter?
Thank you for your question. I, Ajuma Baraka, have been part of the civil rights movement since I was a teenager. I marched with Martin Luther King, and now I'm an integral part of the Black Lives Matter movement. We need stricter gun laws in our country, and we need police officers to be trained and know when to use proper force. Thank you.
I have a question for Jill Stein. According to the financial disclosure that you filed with the United States Office of Government Ethics in March 2016 and the first 2 pages of your 2015 federal tax return, you and your husband, Richard Groher, have profited from investments in mutual funds that support big multinationals, including Chevron, who was responsible for the disastrous oil spill in the Ecuadorian Amazon. How can you explain that?
What is the question?
How can you invest in these big funds when you're supposed to be in filing this?
Next question. Next question. I believe that we need to get away from fossil fuels. We need to stop using oil as a #1 resource. We need to stop using coal, and we need to invest into green energy so we can sustain a world that can work for all of us and that we can pass out to our children and forever, so we can keep a green world.
At this time, are there any questions for Trump, Clinton, or Johnson?
A question for Trump. You say you're going to make America great again, right? Great again, like we're not great now? Or great again, like sometime in our past, like golden age, when, I don't know, there weren't anybody on the continent?
Okay. So, over the past 8 years, this country has had a terrible decline. And no, we are not great right now. And that is the problem. I'm going to return us to when we were great, when my favorite president, Mr. Ronald Reagan, was president. That is when this country was great. Okay? And that is what we are going to return to. Because 4 more years of Barack Obama's failed policy is not what we are looking for in this election.
Is there a question for Clinton or Johnson?
I have a question for Mrs. Clinton. So, how are you supposed to please the American people if you cannot please your own president?
Next question.
Monica!
Please respect all of the students participating in today's town hall meeting by keeping your questions appropriate and serious.
I have a question for Jill Stein. You said legalizing marijuana was for educational and recreational purposes. Yes. Oh, but recreational purposes, wouldn't that degrade the quality of workforce of young Americans because they would be smoking marijuana 24/7?
No, I do not believe that. And because to smoke marijuana legally, you will have to be 20 years of age.
Sebastian, you got some office coming?
Good. A former candidate? Where? I still have that recorded if you ever want it. All right, they moved your this one was on with their bags up.
Alexi was like right there. Sit here. Yeah. He wants me to say Hillary looks good as an orange jumper.
Yeah, I don't want you.
Wow, most of the flyers stayed. That was pretty good.
Chris, you might have to go to Alex or something.
I'm going to Alex.
Yeah, he's already going. Bro, you don't need me then.
Three classes, so you, Weinstein, so we'll keep them up front.
Mr. Q's coming. Sounds good.
And he's, it's on you. Evan, you did a nice job. For some reason I didn't see it. Very good job.
Such
Patriot. That's a patriot.
Also,
someone will make now.
Really well.
That is.
Want to help out on the
That's
party. I'll be your runner if you're
Yeah, that's what you said.
No, all you gotta do is sit there. How old the tip is?
Old.
Try to stay in the center.
I haven't said, I said you.
Just say
Yeah.
That's what I did in my thing last year. I said Monica, I mean Hillary.
Joe's wife.
We have to name
Monica. I'm gonna do that. If I want to say something Bill's wife.
Chris!
Monica, no, Hillary.
You gonna be around after school to help clean up?
They'll be here.
Yeah,
The candidates will definitely be here, but the rest of the country.
Oh, my class will be. My class
Bill's wife.
Start eating my lunch.
Monica.
I'm just gonna personally ask each one of them today.
What do you actually want?
This is fake. You're planting people. This is not accurate.
This is how politics works.
That is accurate.
Welcome to politics, Nicole.
I have to practice my line. Yeah.
Oh, like Lexi said last period that she would look really nice in an orange jumpsuit.
Are you in a rush to get out of here tonight?
No.
Okay, because they have to catch a bus, so.
Yeah, no, I have my car, so.
I just want.
I mean, I have to drive my sister home, but my sister can come help us clean this.
If we have 10 people, we can clean this up in 5 minutes.
My sister can come help too, so.
10 people, 10 to 20 people will clean this up in a minute.
Yeah, let's see, we go up with the hat on top of the thing.
Brittany,
and then when Brittany says.
at the end, giving out lollipops.
It's very
They have
Bree
10
and Maya are
just break
here to
it.
stay, so it
Okay.
should take about 10 minutes.
They have a tendency to throw the lollipops on the ground, so just at the end, please pick up any lollipops or personal balls.
Ask me what I think about the email investigation being here.
I picked up about 100 on this.
No, you can ask me questions. There's going to be enough questions to ask. I get to do a wrong too. It's funny. Wrong? I get to say wrong. And then Jill Stein tried to do it to me. And as I was talking, so I was like, it's a very manly voice, Jill. Relax. She got so deep. I was like, yo. But then if Hillary doesn't care, I'm like, Hillary, you had 30 years to come. She was going to have my time. Thank you. I mean, I hope Sabrina will come. Sabrina was surprised. Because they asked her a question, she didn't show up. Yeah, I was like, that's not okay. No, they didn't make her. It was, the question was,
I know, I heard.
Hey guys, come on, way up here. We have a nice intimate crowd here.
I would say that.
Go in here, guys. You're alumni. You get to choose.
What's up, kids? Nicole, you ready for this big quiz today? Like a B class? Gotta bring your A game, man. I like that.
Come on up, guys.
okay, I'm coming to you with the phone.
Right in there. Right there. Don't make Hello, how are you? Are you with Jason here?
He's, I hope he teaches. He's here.
Mr. Q?
Olsen teaches again.
It's Q and Olsen.
You guys, yeah, they're right here.
Oh, they're here.
Hey, if I didn't get any questions, that means my kids aren't asking me, right?
What kid from your class? I gave it to you.
Like that.
hang out up here today. I like watching it from different perspectives.
Welcome students, teachers, parents, and administrators. Thank you for coming. Please remove all of your hats. Welcome to Parsippany Hills High School's 2016 Presidential Campaign Town Hall meeting. You are going to hear from 4 different candidates running for president in next week's important presidential election. You will also have an opportunity to vote in your classes on who you think should be president of the United States. I will be asking the candidates of each party to answer important questions. They will have 2 minutes to respond to my first question. We will then take questions from the audience for each candidate. I will then ask a second question where candidates will have 1 minute to respond. After the candidates have answered my questions in the allotted time, they will take questions from the audience. We ask that you remain respectful to all of the speakers participating in today's events. Candidates, please introduce yourselves.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Donald J. Trump, nominee for the Republican Party.
Good morning, I'm Hillary Clinton from the Democratic Party.
Jill Stein from your Green Party.
Hi, I'm Gary Johnson, and I'm from the Libertarian Party.
Our audience today is mostly made of young Americans. Many here today are concerned about their future. Why should young Americans trust you with their future concerns and vote for you?
Before I start, I want to pay a compliment to my competitor, Miss Hillary Clinton, because I feel as though I've been a little harsh towards her lately. So, Ms. Clinton, I'd just like to say that I think you would look really nice in that orange jumpsuit that the FBI is going to give to you after they finish your investigation. So, education is the cornerstone of our nation. And without a great education system, this country has no future. And over the past 8 years, our education system has just gotten further and further worse because of President Obama and Ms. Clinton's policies. When I get elected, I am going to make change. We spend more money per student than any other major nation in this world, yet our students still rank towards the bottom. Tell me that this doesn't need to be changed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to promote school choice, a program that allows low-income Americans to take charge of their education and escape from failing government-controlled schools. And Ms. Clinton may say that she is for a better education for everyone, yet she strongly opposes school choice, and she strongly opposes minorities getting a better education. So I've heard that Parsippany Hills is a very great school district, and I feel as though you guys may be a little very informed on politics. So I'm going to ask you a little something about each of my candidates. Sir, what do you think of Ms. Jill Stein?
I think her policies are ridiculous, and there is no way they can actually work out.
Very informed voter. Ma'am, what do you think of Mr. Gary Johnson?
He doesn't know anything about foreign policy.
How can your president not know anything about foreign policy? I mean, is he just going to be a jokester and fake heart attacks on live interviews all the time? Come on. Does anyone know anything about Miss Clinton?
Sir? Yeah. Yes.
First woman president.
I think you might need a little more education on that. She might be first woman president in jail. Sir, do you have anything to say about Donald Trump?
He's a patriot, he's a genius, and he's going to make America great again.
Exactly. I am the person this country needs to make this country great again for everyone. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions for Mr. Trump? anyone asking questions? Thank you.
If your daughter wasn't your daughter, would you go out with her?
I know my daughter is a very beautiful woman, but I'm going to refrain from making comments on her. And I know many of the men in this room may want to date her, but sorry, she's already married.
Moving forward, please keep all questions respectful of the students participating and make sure they're serious and appropriate. Are there any other questions? Seeing none.
Hi. So in 2008, you mentioned that Ms. Hillary Clinton would be a great candidate for the presidency. What has changed today? Like, what qualities did she have then that she may possibly not have anymore?
In 2008, sadly, I would like to say I was a Democrat. I've gotten smarter. I've grown up, and I realized that Ms. Clinton is a terrible candidate. Do we really want someone in the White House that cannot keep charge of her job? She cannot do her job. I mean, as Secretary of State, she lost $6 billion. What do you think she's going to do for our national debt? So clearly, she is not the right person to be our president.
Young people are what make this country great. They always bring new and bright ideas to the table, and that is exactly what we need. We need young Americans, such as all of you sitting here today, to keep America on its feet and moving. And with me as president, I will make that possible. Part of letting young Americans help our country is by giving them the education that they deserve. I will make sure that every child from every zip code gets the world-class education that they deserve, starting with high-quality preschool. There will be fewer standardized tests, and they will be fair in the elementary and secondary school levels. I will also make college debt-free. After 20 years of faithfully paying your debt, that's it, you're done. Another topic I'd like to touch upon is the minimum wage. Right now, the federal minimum wage is $7.25. I would like to raise that to $12. Right now, some people cannot live off of the $7.25 that they receive. They cannot provide for themselves, their families, which is very important. My opponent, Jill Stein, would like to raise it to $16.50 an hour, which is a little much. $12 is just right for all of you. You'll be able to provide for your families and provide for yourself. I would also like to improve healthcare. Right now, everything about healthcare is too expensive. Your co-pays are too expensive, your deductibles are too expensive, and your out-of-pocket costs are too expensive. When you turn 26, you're off of your parents' healthcare plan, and then what are you supposed to do? None of you know what you should do because you don't have enough money to provide for yourselves because everything is way too high. I am going to decrease all of those prices to make it work for all of you. Stand with me, Hillary Clinton, and let's be stronger together.
Our first question for Ms. Clinton comes from Matthew Vaughn of Mr. Padisa's class. Please stand.
Okay. As Jeremiah states, before God formed you in the womb, he knew you. Before you were born, he sanctified you. He ordained you a prophet to the nations. God recognizes all human beings as individuals before they are born. So the fact that you believe a fetus is not a person goes against all that Christianity is built upon. Since you believe an unborn person has no constitutional rights, do you believe that Christians should be forced to change their views on abortion?
I respect everyone's religious views. I'm not saying anyone has to change anything. I am pro-choice, so the women should have the choice to choose what they would like to do with their own bodies. I do not want the government intervening in that decision. And my opponent, Donald Trump, wants to punish women who get abortions. Why do we want a president like that? Thank you.
At this time, is there another question for Ms. Clinton?
Can you give a few examples of things you did for the state of New York during the 8 years you served as senator?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Can you give a few examples of things you did for the state of New York during the 8 years you served as senator?
Well, I pushed for reforms with the education, as in getting teachers to have more rigorous training so that they can provide better for their students and in the the school system. And I also I was also a very successful Secretary of State.
Wrong.
Not.
Thank you.
Hello, amazing students of Parr Hills. My name is Jill Stein, and I am the perfect candidate to protect your future. I am a mother and a medical doctor, and I know that there is no future for my kids unless there's a future for all kids. I am the only candidate advocating for canceling student debt and bailing out a generation of young people like we bailed out the bankers of Wall Street. I can do this for your generation and unleash you to be the stimulus package of our dreams. To do this, I'll make higher education free, so you won't have to graduate with upwards of $50,000 in debt. That's an astronomical number. Also, I'll make healthcare a human right, and I will legalize marijuana, because too many Americans like yourself are thrown into jail for the simple and stupid crime of possession and use of marijuana. Also, I will make America green. We will get away from fossil fuels and we will invest into green energy. Fossil fuels will not last us forever, and we need to find a sustainable energy source. Unlike my opponent Donald Trump, I am not a pedophile. Donald Trump was caught peeking into the Miss Teen USA's locker room, which are girls 14 to 19 years of age. Why would you want a pedophile to be your next president? How about you elect someone who can relate to your issues? I'm a middle-class American, and I'm proud of it. I will always be a middle-class American, and I will always have my heart in the issues that you care about. A vote for me is a vote to make an America and a future that can work for all of us. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions for Ms. Stein?
So you plan on making reforms, you want to make higher education free, get rid of debt. How do you plan on doing this? Where are you getting the money from?
That's an amazing question. Our national budget is $1.1 trillion a year, and we spend 54% of that on the military, which is around $598 billion. My plan is to cut military spending by a decent percentage. Even when we cut military spending by a little bit, we will still have the strongest and most powerful military in the world, and that's how we will fund debt-free college for all. Thank you.
Is there another question for Ms. Stein?
You said that you plan on legalizing marijuana, but with the statistics that over 80% of people who first use marijuana eventually went into, 80% of people who use more serious drugs first use marijuana. Isn't this too big of a risk?
No, because what you said is wrong, but thank you for asking. Marijuana is not a gateway drug. Marijuana has many, many medical benefits, and it is amazing for the economy. When Colorado legalized marijuana in 2015, they gained $53 million from marijuana alone in tax revenue. And you know what they did with this money? they put it back into their public schools. They improved life in their community. That's what marijuana can do for us. It can improve our lives personally. Thank you.
You can trust me because I'm a libertarian and I fight for your rights. Hi, I'm Gary Johnson and I'm a libertarian candidate. Many of you don't know, but you're probably a libertarian. Libertarians are fiscally conservative and socially liberal. It's the best of both worlds. So that means that we support marriage equality, gender equality, and gay rights. And we want to keep your money in your pockets. I don't want a limited government. That means that the government out of your lives and out of your homes. We should be here to help you and to make your lives better. For that reason, we need to abolish the Federal Department of Education. The federal government is far too bureaucratic, and the current educational system that we have today is far too costly. We should be teaching you guys to realize your potential, not teaching you to pass standardized tests. You already have enough on your plate. Having the park in place as a requirement, just to graduate from high school, is ridiculous. You already have to take standardized tests just to apply and get into college. The Libertarian Party understands the struggles and the needs of young Americans such as yourselves. Last, but certainly not least, we need to respect and recognize the diversity of all people. That means that we should welcome immigrants into our country. We should also be wary of any dangers associated with that. After all, we are a country full of immigrants. It's just common sense to play our greatest strength. That's our diversity. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions for Mr. Johnson?
So what exactly do you plan to do for immigration? Like, how are you going to be wary of the problems that are kind of coming about?
That's an absolute good question. What we need to do is we need to have background checks on anyone coming into this country. We need to basically run through their records and know that they're not dangerous. Just like anything with immigration, we just basically need to have a refined system that makes sure that the people that we're letting in are not dangerous at all. So that would be looking at criminal records as such, and occupations, anything needed for us to know that they are dangerous, and if so, they are not entering this country. Thank you.
Hello. So you're saying you want immigrants to come in here and have more jobs, but unemployment's already bad here for regular Americans. So shouldn't we take care of who's home first before we bring in a bunch of strangers and have them take our jobs?
That's a very good question, valid response. Actually, if you actually didn't notice, recently, the New York Times actually published an article that recently last month, we've actually experienced job growth. 160,000 jobs actually been created in the last month. So to your point, even though we had the 2008 economic crisis, I will give Obama the credit that he deserves because employment today is at an all-time high. The amount of people that were unemployed at the time before had decreased astronomically. So in terms of, can you just repeat your question? Yeah, just for clarification, so I can answer.
Shouldn't we take care of unemployment here first before giving it to every immigrant?
Yeah. We definitely, but I'm not saying that we should needlessly let anyone in. We as a country are building immigrants, right? We understand that's probably the proudest part of our history because we're so diversified. That's why this country is so great. We're not confined to one group of people. We're made up of literally every person in this world, every type of person in this world. To your point, letting immigrants into the country, and you basically pointed to the fact that we destroy our jobs. Not necessarily. There are low-wage jobs, and there are other jobs. Usually, people here in the United States are students. You're educated. that means that you would be pursuing higher income jobs that require more qualifications. Immigrants coming into this country may not necessarily have those qualifications, so you won't have to worry about them taking your jobs that you're trying to pursue. Thank you.
We'll now move on to the second question. If elected, what would be the first problem you would try to solve after you've been inaugurated as president in January?
My first act as President of the United States would be to submit a balanced budget to Congress. By 2017, which is only a couple months away, our debt will have accumulated to $20 trillion. That's an astronomical number. Our debt is absolutely stifling. What we need to do is we need to have a budget in place so that we're spending the right amount of money that we need to spend on what needs to be spent. Also, in terms of our budget, that would involve cutting military spending as such. Already, if you look at our military spending, anyone who's very supportive of our military, I am too, but for our military, we spend 10 times more than the next 10 countries after us. That's absolutely ridiculous. And in addition to having a balanced budget, we can allocate the money for you. The federal government can do its job and create social programs that will affect you and will have a meaningful impact on your lives. Thank you.
By a show of hands, how many of you have ever seen or heard of someone get hurt from alcohol? Did I hear someone say homecoming 2015? By a show of hands, how many of you have ever seen someone or heard of someone who's gotten hurt from marijuana? Nobody. That's because marijuana cannot hurt you. Marijuana is not a gateway drug, and it would take 1,500 pounds of marijuana consumed within 15 minutes to induce a lethal response. Marijuana has many medical benefits. It can lift your spirits, it can crush anxiety, and it can even boost your metabolism. And it can help with diseases such as depression, veterans who suffer from PTSD, and it is even proven that marijuana can help people who have cancer. Marijuana is amazing for our economy. When legalized in all 50 states for recreational and medical use, we will gain over $900 million in tax revenue. What my opponents will tell you is that all I care about is legalizing marijuana because I'm a stoner. They're wrong, okay? I cannot stand another day when innocent Americans are in jail for the stupid crime of possession and use of marijuana. Marijuana will be legalized, and that's the first issue that I will tackle. Thank you.
The first issue I plan on tackling as president is unemployment. Right now, 1 in 10 Americans between the ages of 16 and 24, like all of you, are unemployed. I plan on changing that. I am going to make the biggest investment in good-paying jobs since World War II. That includes making a $20 billion initiative in good-paying jobs such as jobs, apprenticeships, and internships. I am going to pave the path to a better and brighter future by giving you all the jobs that you want and you deserve. My top priority is all of you. Thank you.
Hillary says she's for all of you, and she's been saying this for the past 30 years. I mean, enough is enough. Go out and do something, please. I can't stand hearing you talk. Hillary, you've had 30 years to talk. Can I have my 2 minutes, please? Thank you. Jeez. All right, so the first issue I plan on tackling is immigration, because illegal immigrants are killing this country. They're taking our jobs, and the criminal illegal immigrants are taking spots in our prisons and costing this country money. So the first thing I'm going to do as president is build that wall. It's going to be huge, trust me. And we are not going to pay for it, because Mexico is sending over these drug cartels and these illegal immigrants, and they are going to pay for this wall. We will also be funding Border Patrol, because illegal immigrants also come through tunnels, and by funding Border Patrol, we'll have more people along our borders to find these tunnels. Jill also came up here and said that she wants to legalize marijuana. She's trying to say that she's not a stoner. But one day, she was so high in an interview that she said that she thinks Wi-Fi is bad for you. Can we just let that sink in, please? These are your choices for president. The choice is clear. Vote Trump and make America great again.
At this time, I invite the vice presidential candidates to come down and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Mike Pence from the Republican Party.
Hi, I'm Tim Kaine from the Democratic Party.
Hi, I'm Ajahn Mubaraka from the Green Party.
Hi, I'm Governor Bill Weld from the Libertarian Party.
At this time, we will now accept questions from the audience. When asking a question, please remember to be respectful to all participants.
I have a question for Jill Stein. So you've repeatedly referred to yourself as a middle-class environmental conservative, but why do you have a stock portfolio with millions of dollars worth of stocks, including lots of money invested into big oil?
That's a great question. And I am a middle-class American. I'm a medical doctor. I live paycheck to paycheck, just like all of you. I have a little money on the side, and I invest into things that will get me money back. I am not pro-oil and pro-fossil fuel. I am for creating green energy and investing into green energy so we can pass this beautiful earth onto our children and our children pass on to their children. Thank you.
This is also for Jill Stein. Why do you think legalizing marijuana takes precedence over terrorism or education?
Like I said in my speech, I cannot stand another day when innocent Americans like yourself are in jail for the stupid crime of possession of marijuana. They're in the same jail as murderers and rapists and thieves. And I just can't stand it. I agree that terrorism is a big issue, but I'm looking out for Americans first thing. And that's why I need to legalize marijuana to get innocent Americans out of jail.
This question's for Mr. Trump. You said you plan to make Mexico pay for the wall, but after your conversation with the Mexican president, he actually tweeted out that I made it clear that Mexico will not pay for the wall. So how do you plan to get him to change his mind?
Okay, that's a great question. So everybody thinks that when I say I'm going to make Mexico pay for the wall, they think that I'm just going to walk into the Mexican president's office and be like, yo, let me get that check for the wall. No, we're going to do it through taxes, and we are going to kill them through trade. So by taxing visas on Mexican immigrants to the United States of America, we will have them pay for the wall indirectly.
I have another question for Trump. It's been proven that most of the illegal immigrants here are merely people who missed the deadline for them to go back to Mexico. So how do you expect the wall to solve the immigration problem if it's really just people overstaying their visas?
So my first step is to deport all criminal illegal immigrants. I have no problem with illegal immigrants who come here and do not commit a crime and start a family. However, I would like to put them on a track to legal citizenship. So my problem is not with the illegal immigrants that come here and don't kill our people and don't commit crimes in our country. My problem is more with the people that do commit those crimes.
For our next question, we would look for a question for Ms. Clinton or Mr. Johnson.
My question goes to Hillary Clinton. So since the email scandals are still going on, what are some ways that you're trying to achieve your goal to become president?
The deal with the emails is it has been reopened, but nothing criminal has been found, just like the first time. What was the second part of your question again? I'm sorry.
Are there like any ways for you to become president?
Well, I'm going to push for all of the programs I'd like to have installed, and yeah, that's.
Are there any questions for Mr. Johnson at this time?
You say that you want to cut military spending, but how can you do that with all the threats growing from Islamic terrorism, Russian problems with them because of what candidates in the presidential debate have been saying about them, problems with China, problems with North Korea?
Okay, so that's a great question. So right now, we spend more than any other country on military spending, and it's not even by a little bit, it's by a huge amount. We're going to cut down on programs that we don't need and that are costing too much and are stopping you from getting the things that you need, like a better education. We're going to cut down on nuclear spending because there's no reason for our country to have these huge weapons when we can solve problems through diplomatic means. And by cutting those programs, we're going to put that money into education systems and different state reforms so that you can keep your rights and you can still live safe, but know that your military isn't being cut down by an astronomical number. Thank you.
My question is for Donald Trump. You have consistently disrespected women and minorities, and can you tell me why you truly deserve respect from the people of America without dragging in any of the other candidates?
I can. I would first like to sincerely apologize about some of the comments I made about women. I know they're completely disrespectful. I love women more than anyone in this country. I respect women more than anyone in this country. I may have said some things in the past that I really am not proud of, but I sincerely apologize to the people that I've said these comments about, and I hope you can accept this apology.
My question is for Gary Johnson. You stated that you want to eliminate Common Core, but do you think it's reasonable that one state succeeds in education more than another, considering it creates divisiveness in our country?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Your candidate has said that they want to eliminate Common Core, but this will just create division in our country.
So you're saying that eliminating Common Core will create division in our country?
Yeah, what do you?
Okay. To your response to the question, the reason why we want to eliminate Common Core is because we're spending way too much money on it. It's not the government's job to basically charge education. What I believe is that it should be up to the states, so that governors can do what's right for their state, so that they can tailor to their state's needs. That's why I'm saying that, because the Common Core standards is a federal program. So when you have that in place, it gives states less room and the ability to cater to the students of their states. That's why.
Thank you all for attending our presidential town hall meeting today. As you leave, please be sure to take any personal garbage, especially the lollipop sticks, with you. And a reminder, you'll be voting on Monday in your history classes for which of these candidates you feel should be the next president of the United States.